sisters Mary and Eleanor Dooley left a lasting impact at Elms College, serving as faculty members and administrators at the college for more than 40 years. A new book, An Uncommon Love, celebrates the life and ministry of the sisters. Steve Kiltonick spoke with the editor of the book, Father Mark Stelzer, about the lessons and legacy of the sisters at a recent book launch held at the campus of Our Lady of the Elms College.
On October 15th, Veritas Auditorium at Elms College was filled with people from across the diocese and beyond, all of whom came to honor two very special women. The occasion marked the book launch of An Uncommon Love, the life, legacy, and lessons of Sisters Mary and Eleanor Dooley. Father Mark Stelzer, a longtime friend and confidant of the sisters, served as the book's editor. Father Stelzer's association with the sisters goes back 38 years. He was invited by Mary, then president of the Elms, and Eleanor, who was chair of the college's religious studies department, to teach a 6-week course during their winter session.
For many of those years, I was privileged to work with Mary Dooley and Eleanor Dooley and their position as administrators, and also co-taught many courses with Eleanor, and in the course of the years that I spent with them on this campus, came to know and to love them and to respect them and their vision for the church. They have forever shaped my ministry and my life and have helped me recommit each day to the work of the college, to the ministry of teaching.
The Dooley sisters grew up in eastern Massachusetts and graduated from the Elms 6 years apart. Each received doctoral degrees from the Sorbonne in Paris. Mary taught at St. Joseph's High School in North Adams and later became president of the SSJ congregation for 8 years, then president of Elms College from 1979 to 1993. Eleanor taught at Springfield's Cathedral High and St. Mary High School in Milford, Mass., before beginning a 36-year teaching career at the Elms, instructing students in Latin, French, and religious studies.
From the very early years, Mary was the more forward, the more aggressive of the two, and Eleanor was more the mystic. Sometimes we referred to her as the mystic of Our Lady of the Elms, the more reflective person. And while many people, attributed so much to Mary and her leadership, you never saw Mary without Eleanor far beside her. And Eleanor very much informed Mary's decision-making. She was part of it, always supporting her and adding richness and context and nuance to important decisions that Mary would have to make.
Father Stelzer said Mary was president of the SSJs at a pivotal time as they began to implement the reforms of Vatican II in lifestyle and manner of dress.
Mary very often would tell stories of having to go head-to-toe with church leadership at that point, who might be a bit reluctant to some of the changes that were being introduced.
One of those leaders was Cardinal Peronio of Rome, who was a very powerful prefect of the Sacred Congregation for Religious and Secular Institutes.
Although they didn't see eye to eye on many issues, it was really because of Mary's persistence that she had so many meetings with him in Rome, pleading the cause not only for her own sisters back home, but pleading the cause for greater inclusion of women in the life of the church.
During this time, Mary was elected president of the Leadership Conference of Women Religious, or LCWR, and represented sisters from across the U.S. As Elms president, Mary came along during a time when women's colleges across the U.S. were experiencing low enrollment.
Through Mary's innovation, through a lot of involvement with civic partners, she widely expanded the number of majors and witnessed a remarkable change in enrollment. And that change in enrollment is really what saves the college at that point.
Under Mary's leadership, the school built the McGuire Center, a physical education facility that serves not only Elms, but the wider community. She also tore down the iron fence that once surrounded the campus.
Just saying that the aging iron fence gave a wrong sign, that the college needed to be open to a new world, needed to be open to our neighbors.
Eleanor left the Elms at various times to minister in China and India.
She knew Mother Teresa, she taught their novices, and she also spent many years, a brilliant mind, teaching French in the Theological Divinity School at Harvard University.
Sister Eleanor teamed up with Father Stelzer to teach class after class of deacons.
Every single student that I had in that program fell in love with Sister Eleanor, and her unique style of teaching, and to find something of the divine in every single student. She truly reverenced each person before her, and that was genuine, sincere, and deeply felt by people.
At Eleanor's retirement in 2015, many of her former diaconate students came to honor Eleanor for her 34 years teaching in the program. She spoke of why she enjoyed teaching deacons.
Something about them, I think their yearning for God that touched me. They're very serious about their spiritual growth, which is so inspiring for me.
The book launch coincided with the celebration of the SSJ's Founders Day. Many of the sisters who knew the Dooleys gathered in the college chapel for Mass and to kick off a year-long 375th anniversary celebration of the SSJ's founding in Le Puy. 2023 marked the 10th anniversary of Mary's death. Father Stelzers felt it was time to select people for inclusion in the book, reaching out to those who had a particularly close relationship with the sisters. The book itself is divided into 4 sections. Part 1 includes academic essays as well as Stelzer, who wrote on the French intellectual and essayist Daniel Ropes, the subject of Mary's doctoral dissertation. Part 2 includes reflections by Sisters Jane Morrison, Maxine Schneider, and Father Warren Savage. Part 3 features memories of the Dooley sisters, while Part 4 includes assorted letters written by Mary to various political leaders, like President Jimmy Carter, Vice President Mondale, Tip O'Neill, as well as Pope John Paul II. During the book launch, a number of individuals spoke on their personal relationship with the Dooleys. Father Day, a former student at St. Joseph's High, spoke on the North Adams connection. Sister Kathleen Imbruno reflected on the Milford connection. Dr. Macaulay Henches reflected on coming of age with the Dooleys, and Sister Kathleen Reagan gave some humorous accounts of life at the Elms with the Dooleys. Father Stelzer also signed copies of An Uncommon Love, which were available for purchase. Father Stelzer said Eleanor, who died in 2021, was always by Mary's side.
Especially toward the end of their lives, as Mary's health began to decline, you'd very often see them walking through the campus arm in arm, and Eleanor was so faithful to her, daily by her side at Mount Marie, and making sure that she shared in the sacraments of the church and was able to receive the Eucharist.
Mary and Eleanor shared an uncommon love for each other, for their ministry, for the Sisters of St. Joseph, and for everyone they came in contact with.
And I think that legacy of uncommon love is something that will live on in our hearts and certainly in the life of this college and this diocese.
For Real to Real, I'm Steve Kiltonic.
Thanks, Steve. And the sisters certainly touched the lives of so many during their many years at the Elms. For those interested in reading or gifting the book, Father Stelzer says An Uncommon Love can be purchased on Amazon, and he invites all to a book discussion being held on Tuesday, December 3rd at 6:30 via Zoom. We have a link for you on our website, iobserve.org.